Hello everybody, it is M4J here and welcome at long last to Stagz to Riches, the Hatfield Town save for Football Manager 2022. Seems like an eternity since I first hinted at this series, but we are here at long last and I am good to go, raring to go. Very, very excited about what's to come. Yeah, so this isn't technically the first episode. This is like an introduction episode. I would call it episode 0, but technically the trailer that went out like a month and a bit ago, that's episode 0. So this is like episode 0.5, which I might put in the thumbnail, I might not. I haven't actually decided yet. But yeah, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. So let's introduce the squad first, shall we? And then we can go on to talking about staff. And then we can go on and talking about tactics and things like that. So let's look at the first team squad first and foremost. If I go like this and like this. That's not right. Hang on. It's not actually doing it the way I wanted to do it. Interesting. But yeah, this is the first team. So ignore the bit on the left. We'll come back to that. In fact, there's a lot of information here that needs to be changed, which is something I'm going to talk about as well, actually. I'm going to talk about the rules of this series in this video, and I'm also going to talk about things that are slightly different to what's happened in previous years and where we go from that and because of that. But yeah, this is the first team squad. Let's talk about these guys first. So we've got in goal, at the moment, Kieran Extents. This will change. I'll talk you through that again in a second. In fact, it probably would be easier if I just did this. There we go. So our two goalkeepers, Kieran Extents and Lewis Murray. Both of these guys returning from last year. Both very good, accomplished keepers. I believe in real life now, Kieran Extents is the goalkeeping coach at the Stagz. Lewis Murray is one of the first team goalkeepers. And yeah, not bad. Not bad going. I should probably talk you through how I've done the stats here as well, because some of you might have noticed this is not the same as last year. The players are different. Basically, most of what has remained the same are the names, obviously. Positions, some of which have been changed slightly. More on that in a second. And, you know, things like date of birth and stuff like that. Now, I haven't got all of the players' dates of birth right now. I'm hoping to get those as the series progresses, in which case some of these players' ages might change. Be expecting to see that. But as this is pretty accurate, reasonably accurate. It's based on documentation that I've been sent by John, and some of the info was provided by the players themselves. So again, some things might change, but right now this is where we're at. So if I use Extents as an example here, these numbers were generated using a random number generator between the values of 4 and 10. Last year, I asked every player to rate themselves out of 5 and then quadrupled that number to get their rating out of 20. This year, I've gone slightly different. It's not so much that players were rating themselves higher than they actually were, although that was happening in various places. But the truth is we were just way too good. We were way too good. And don't get me wrong, I like managing good teams. But when you're blitzing teams 6-0 every other week, it's not really that enjoyable. So the first thing I did was halve it. We're now rating players out of 10 for everything. Second thing I did was remove 1 to 3, because why would you want that? No one's really rated, although I say that, Extents has got stamina of 1. I did tweak this partway through the... what am I doing? Talk about that in a second. Extents... no, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Extents was one of the first players that we did. And I say we, I'll come back to that in a second as well. So at the time, we only had 1 to 10 as being the... In fact, 1 to 15, I think it was. And then we changed it so that it was 4 to 10. So the value, the range is quite small, 4 to 10. But I felt like it would give us the most realistic squad that we could possibly get. And I think, to an extent, we stuck to that. So I'll give you another example. We've got... who did we add fairly late? Diego Torres here. Notice his highest... In fact, he's got a 13 here for aggression. But I think that comes from... a different set of stats that we did, and also natural fitness is 12. This might be related to the current ability, because that's something else. That's what I was going to show you. So the current ability here, so when you put the stats in, it gives you a recommended current ability, which is this one here, 24, which is what we did for Torres. Some of them were quite high, in which case they were reduced. Some of them were quite low, in which case they were bumped up slightly. But overall, I think I'm very happy with the state of the squad here. And I say we earlier on. My missus helped me with this. She used the random number generator. She also helped provide details on the players. Basically, she was sat with my laptop. I was sat here at the desktop. She would call out player names, dates of birth, things like that. And then we'd go through the full list of stats, putting the numbers in from the random number generator. And this is what we came up with, which, again, I'm very happy with this. I think it's gone really, really well. So this is the first team squad. Let's run through the names. We've got Kieran Extence, Lewis Murray. We've already met them. Freddie Newman, returning from last year as well, 32 years old. Right back / centre back / first team coach. I believe at the end of last season he did indeed step up on into the coaching side of things. And again, pretty decent. He was the second player I think we did. So again, he's got ratings out of 15 rather than 10. This might get nerfed. No, this might get nerfed as the save goes on, because you can see he's actually our best rated right back right now, which I'm not sure is the most realistic thing. So this might get nerfed a little bit. Then got Jade Furby, centre back, probably first choice centre back, first name on the team sheet, all that good stuff. Young as well, so plenty of time to develop. We've also got Caden Marks, Andy Morris, and Dean Sadler, there he is, as centre-backs. And I think that's all of the centre-backs in the first team squad right now. It seems to be. We've got Javier Atu and Andre Grant returning from last... Atu is returning from last year. Grant is new for this year. And in terms of the centre-backs, Furby, Marks and Morris are brand new. Sadler is returning. Zach Argent at left-back. One of my favourite players, actually, to watch when I do go and see Hatfield play for real. Very good on the ball. Does like to punt it down the line a little bit too much for my liking, but again, this is non-league, so that is quite a common occurrence, just to get the ball to the fullback, knock it down the channel for someone to run onto. It's not the way I like to play football, but it is a very, very common occurrence at that level, and sometimes you just got to grit your teeth and accept that. We're not all Premier League footballers, let's put it that way. So I like Argent though. He's very good in the air. He's very good on the ground. He's an excellent tackler. Takes no nonsense from the opposition winger. Very solid left back. So pleased to have him returning. Hopefully he can form a good partnership on the left hand side as well, like he did last year. Diego Torres returning as well. Now I might have this wrong, so apologies if I do, but I believe this is Diego Ruiz. Back from last year. So last year he was a centre-back / left-back. I also sort of tweaked him during the series to make him play right-back as well. This year, he's a solid defender across the back from the get-go. He's actually better in the full-back positions than he is in the centre-back positions. But again, good solid player. Seen him a couple of times. Looks really strong. Looking forward to seeing what he can do here. Then we got the captain, Lee Hammond. I cannot stop raving about Lee. He is an excellent central midfielder. Breaks up play, can run with the ball, good passer, keeps things nice and simple. What more could you want from someone, not just in your engine room, but also with the armband on as well? He will be our main ball-winning midfielder here in the central midfield role. He can also play as a DM in that role as well. And again, what more do you want? His tackling's actually quite low, which could be troublesome, but everything else pretty decent, so can't complain. Jachet Montrose, new this year. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. Also a ball-winning midfielder, can also play as a Mazzala. Is it Mazzala? I don't know. And can also play as a DM. So these two might swap. It depends on whether we're rotating the team or not. We shall see. Then we got Nathan Studholme, who was by far one of our standout players last year. This year, he seems to be the jack of both wings, because he can play wing-back, wide midfield, and also on either wing in the attacking roles. We're probably going to be deploying him mostly as a left winger again, but this time as an inside forward rather than an inverted winger, purely because he has the ability to cut inside and actually cause chaos. He will also be handy out on the right-hand side, maybe not as a wide target forward, but certainly as a winger, getting the ball into those dangerous areas and hopefully creating some good chances for us. Jack Gadger, returning from last year. Not a lot we can say here. Scored an absolute worldie on his debut for us last year against Welwyn Garden City. Nothing better than winning the derby. We were 2-2 at the time and he came on and scored. It was like 25, 30 yard blockbuster. If you go back and watch I think it's the first top 10 goals that we did. He is number 1 on that list. And again, he'll be playing alongside Hammond. Very much looking forward to seeing what he can do. Chris Arco, new for this year. Kind of a reserve midfielder. Again, I feel like he needs a bit of a buff already because I think he's first choice in the real Stagz. So we'll have to look at that. This might have something to do with his current ability. Yeah, he's only got 16. So that might get changed. I don't want to change too much too soon. We'll see where we go with that. Evaristo Kitoko. Also midfield. In fact, I think he is the first deputy central midfielder, and then Arco will be the second deputy in that left central midfield role. So Gadger, then Kitoko, then Arco. On the right hand side, it will be Hammond and then Montrose. Ellis McLeod, young winger, 17 years old. He's one of our Hudson Doncasters this year in that he's got the ability to make things happen. Very good natural fitness, actually. I'm not quite sure how that happened. But, yeah, good young winger. Left-hand side, always valuable. Left wing is always a position I struggle to fill. So, hopefully he'll step up and make good there. Calvin Lingard, 21. Again, both wings. We got a lot of players who can play on both sides, which I've always said this. If you go back and watch my Football Manager Basics series as well, versatility at this level is the most important thing you can hope for. If you've got someone who's a really good right winger but can somewhat play on the left, train them to play on the left as well. And we're very, very fortunate here that we've got very good wingers on both sides of the pitch who can also play on the other side of the pitch. So Lingard predominantly will be a left-sided winger because I believe he is left-footed. I always forget. Yeah, he is left-footed. So winger, set to support, get the ball in the box. But having him as an inverted winger on the right-hand side depends on the situation, but that could be a really dangerous weapon to have as well. Campbell Harwood. Now, Campbell here is our Hudson Doncaster this year because he can play pretty much anywhere. Central midfield, left wing, right wing, central attacking midfield. Now, he's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, and I don't mean that in an offensive way. But you can see he never crosses 2.5 stars in any one position or any one role either. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, versatility is crucial. And he's a really good ace in the hole to have on the bench. He can come on and play in any of these attacking positions. If we need an extra winger, he can go out there. If we need an extra cam, he can go there. If we're looking to shore up the midfield, he can go there. And he's equally good in all of these positions. He can even play as a ball-winning midfielder. He's got a tackling of 3, but he can play as a ball-winning midfielder. Preferably, I think I'll have him out on the wings. I think that's where he'll be most dangerous, but we'll see. Next up, we got Luis Vieira. Now, Vieira here is a cam. He will be our primary cam for most of the series, or at least for most of the first season, I should say. Can't promise anything for next season. He can also play on the wings. Again, not as strong. I'm saying that, it is quite strong looking, but I imagine over time that will diminish. But yeah, he's going to be our primary cam. He's got good finishing. I think he's got good, decent long shots with a 6. Passing is all right. Technique's pretty good. Pace and stamina are relatively consistent for the level that we're at. Agility, acceleration, balance, all in the good stuff as well. The only thing that lets us down a little bit is, passing's not great, and concentration. They're the low ones that are required. Everything else, though, pretty decent. Dribbling is also somewhat lacking, but he probably won't be dribbling too much with the ball anyway, so no worries there. Then we got Ruben Vieira. Now, I believe these two are brothers. Hopefully they are. If not, again, I apologise. Ruben's going to be our primary striker. Got him set as a poacher. Really good. What was I going to say? Really good stats, I was going to say. But these, again, numbered generator. So not necessarily realistic, but somewhat realistic. Again, some of these are quite low, so I might go in and bump these up to the minimum of 4, just so that it's a little bit more in line with everybody else. But I think really good for the get-go. 30 years old. I think he'll be a strong performer in that primary role. And he can also play on the wings and as a cam if needed. So again, versatility, very, very important. Now, this is the pronunciation I was worried about. Richard, got that bit right. I'm going to guess Akimpong. Again, if you're watching, Richard, I apologise. Do let me know how to say your name. But he's kind of the deputy winger. One of the deputy wingers. Can also play cam. Can also play as a striker. Now, I think I've already given him a little bit of a nerf because I think he was a bit too good. Either that or I buffed him because he wasn't good enough. I can't remember now. But either way, I think he needs a bit of more of a buff. Just to increase these to maybe 2 stars. Because he's kind of a weak link right now. And I don't think he is in real life. So I kind of want to raise the bar a little bit there. And Cameron Maswala. Again, winger. Can also play up front. Very, very useful to have. Target forward as well. Our first target forward with a height of 6 foot-ish. Could be useful to have. Poacher as well, pressing forward. Everyone at the moment is... all our strikers at the moment are poachers. And I kind of want to have someone doing something a little bit different. So Maswala could be the solution to that problem. Speaking of strikers and being poachers, here's Nathan Burland. Again, poacher, target forward, 31 years old. Some of these heights and weights were made up as well. So, guys, if you're watching and you're offended by the fact I've made you taller or smaller than you actually are, or heavier, again, sorry, let me know. I'll get that fixed. All these numbers here, so these ones here are pretty much set in stone, but these ones here are changeable, as are the date of birth here, and positions potentially as well, but we'll see about that one. And finally, for the senior team, we've got Dale Cassell, who I believe won the first player of the month this season. Well deserved. Very, very much deserved. Good finishing. I've seen him score. Very, very well taken finish. I think from that, actually, I thought I had him with using the outside of his right foot, because that's the way he scored the goal. I was very impressed. Very good finish. Good ball to him as well, to be fair. I can't remember who played the ball to him, but it was a very good finish from Cassell. He was going to be our primary striker. Could still be our primary striker. You think about Harry Baker last year. No stats really that stood out, but he was just a solid finisher. Every week he was scoring goals. And Cassell could be that as well for us. But for now, I'm going to try Vieira first, and we'll see how we go. Also, you, Luis, I have made a mistake here. How do I... Hang on. Edit player's personal details. There we go. There we go. Again, if I've spelt names wrong or anything like that, I apologise. I'm going based off the registration document that I was sent. So if it's wrong on there, then I've got it wrong. So yeah, apologies. So this is the first team. I'll show you the tactics quickly. So we've got this is the tertiary selection right now. I'll show you the main tactic here. 4-2-3-1, obviously, because that's my thing. So we've got Murray in goal, Argent, Furby, Sadler, Torres across the back, Gadger and Hammond in midfield, Studholm, El Vieira, and Lingard across the attacking midfield, and then Ruben Vieira up front. Bench is Newman, Morris, Montrose, Kitoko, Harwood, Maswala, and Cassell. And then we've got the additional bench of Extents, Atu, Marks, Arco, and Akimpong. Don't worry about these guys. These guys will get a chance throughout the season. The whole point of this is to rotate as we go through. If there's a cup game, for example, or if there's a league game where, say we're top of the league and we're kind of cruising, then obviously we'll give some of the fringe players a chance. And also, so this is just the players in the first team right now. Can I find out how many there are? 26. If I go to the Dev Center and go to the under-23s, we've got more guys here. So we've got goalkeepers. Mac India, I think is how you say that. Again, that's probably wrong. Sorry if it is. Harris Scott Fenton as well as a goalkeeper. Centre-backs Ethan Hughes and Oluwaseni Owadunni. And then we got fullbacks. Is it Nigel? Kwakupome? God. Again, pronunciation. Alex Theoharis. And then in midfield, we've got Hoji Joaquim, Yusuf Bartuk, Temidayo Sanusi, Oscar Egbo, and yeah, they're the central midfielders / cams. And then on the wings, we've got Michael Oman, Chinaza Obachina. Again, that's probably wrong. And then we got Shaki Innocent, Benis Motoko, and Alolo Mansfield up front as well. And again, versatility. Most of these guys can play in more than one position, which I'm very, very happy with. And then we've also got the under-18s. So some of these aren't players that I've added. Some of these are game generated, but the ones I have added are Aaron Oric. I think, again, that's probably how you pronounce it. Tahir Shallow, Victory Kabaya, Daniel Nwabuno, I think, George Poskett, who I believe is our youngest player at 15. And I think that's everyone. Got a guy here called Hector just chilling in our youth team as well, which is awesome. So these guys might get bumped up, like Kabaya especially might get bumped up to the under-23s to begin with. But again, don't rule these guys out. They're here for the future. You can see they've got good potential. So we'll see where we go with all of those. We will see them throughout the series. I promise you that. I can't promise you that it'll be immediately, and I can't promise you it'll be regularly, but we will see them throughout the series. Now, staff. Now, this was a tricky one, because obviously Hatfield have a manager. Hatfield have an assistant manager. Hatfield have a coaching team. Now, the assistant manager and the coaching team, that's relatively simple. Plus, we've got John as chairman. But Ray, the manager, at the moment, I've moved him to director of football. I think that was the right thing to do. Partially inspired by, if anyone played the hashtag challenge that was on Football Manager, I think it was 2019. It might have been 2020. No, I think it was 2019. You had a choice to move Devs, the manager. You either got rid of him completely or you turned him into a director of football. When I did it, I turned him into a director of football. I think that's the right thing to do. You can kind of think of it as a Ralph Rangnick, but obviously Ray's a more competent coach than Rangnick. So I moved him up to a director of football. Now I need to learn who the assistant manager is because I don't know right now. So Assman is currently our assistant manager. Then we got Extents as the goalkeeping coach, Newman as the first team coach, and my brother is here. Tom, you are in the game as head performance analyst. Now, for those of you that don't know, as part of my duties doing the Hatfield Matchday programs, I've recruited my brother Tom to do opposition history. It's something that he also does for hashtag United, believe it or not. So I kind of wanted to reflect that in the game. And the closest thing I could come up with was performance analyst. So I could have had him as a scout or technical director, something like that. Because really I wanted him to provide opposition information, but I don't want him to be chief scout because I think, we can go out and find someone to do that for us and do it well. So I have him as head performance analyst. So it's his job basically to tell me that I suck. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you never know. So Tom, you are in the game. Besides this though, there are probably more people that we'll need to add as the series goes on. But for now, this is where we're at. We have 46 players. We have 5 members of staff, excluding me, 6 including me. And then we've got John here as the chairman. Now, last year, I goofed. I made John the goalkeeping coach as well as the chairman, and he stepped down immediately. Hopefully this year, that doesn't happen, because I've got him as chairman and chairman only. And I believe I ticked a little box on his name in the editor, which meant that he's very reluctant to sell the club. So he should remain our chairman for quite some time. Right. That's pretty much it for introducing the squad and the staff. Now I want to talk about the rules, which means switching over to my Discord briefly. So I have a set of rules. Now these rules will change, I'm sure. But right now, these are the rules that I'm going to be playing with for the start of this series. If you have any suggestions on ones you'd like to see added or existing ones that you'd like to see tweaked, do let me know down below. I've got this weird hiccup thing. So if I suddenly stop talking, that's why. So yeah, we've got, at the moment, 7 rules. First rule, no going over the wage budget. If at any point I exceed the wage budget, I must sell or release a player immediately to balance the books again. If that's not enough, then players need to keep leaving until the wage budget is positive again. Now I'm going to add a little addition to this one because I completely forgot about contract renewals. If I can renegotiate contracts with people on a cheaper wage so that the wage budget is reached again, then obviously I would rather do that. Players don't necessarily have to leave. Right now our wage budget is £28 per week. I haven't altered anything to do with the club reputation or the finances. That is all exactly as it was, as created by Dan when he created the database. So nothing there has changed. If we go over the wage budget, we have to become neutral again. We can't put the club into financial trouble, which is number... In fact, what number is that? Number 5. We'll come back to that in a second. So number 2, all transfers must be negotiated by me. This one might change as the seasons go on, but basically no more relying on the director of football to do the business for me. If I want a player, it's my job to go and get them. This includes negotiating transfer fees, contracts, bonuses, and even loan backs. And this is the same for selling players as it is for buying them. I need to be a shrewd negotiator. So basically, I need to get the best value possible for my existing players, but at the same time not overpay for new players coming in. This is a problem that is probably not going to exist for another couple of seasons, but basically what I mean is once we get towards the Football League, and we might need to bring some players in to replace outgoings, I have to go out and scout them, or get my scouting team to do it for me, come up with some suggestions, but I need to go out and actually do the negotiating. I can't just put Ray on it. I can't just add as transfer target. That's what I was looking for. I can't just put him as a transfer target and let Ray go out and get him. Ray might still go out and get players. That might happen, but at the end of the day, I will have final say on incomings. So pretty much everything there has to be done by me, and that's me trying to engage a little bit more with that side, because more often than not, I start the series like, yeah, I'm going to do it all, and then after season 1, I'm like, delegate. This year I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and do as much as possible. After all, the name of the series is Stagz to Riches, so you've probably worked out where we're going with that name and why it's a good pun. It's an excellent pun, for the record. It's an excellent pun. Anyway, number 3. All contract renewals must be negotiated by me. Basically the same as above. As well as buying and selling players, it's my job to renegotiate contracts to keep the best players at the club. This means ensuring wages remain reasonable, bonuses don't bankrupt the club, and even making the hard decisions as to who stays and who goes. Not an easy job, but easy isn't fun. This goes for staff as well, by the way. It's my job to renegotiate the majority of the contracts with staff. Maybe not all of them. Things like the medical department, I'll probably leave to the director of football. But everything else, it's up to me. That includes head of youth development, director of football, all coaching staff, all scouting staff, all analyst staff. That is all up to me. Number 4. If the club receives a huge offer for a youth prospect, I have to let them go. Now this sounds a bit harsh, but hear me out. In the past, I would not have liked this idea, but now it's the rules of the game. If I have a great youth prospect that I want to hold on to, can't read my own writing here, but a championship club comes in with a huge offer, especially if it's way above their value, then it's time to say goodbye. The club means more than any player, and keeping the money rolling in is the whole point of the series after all. It's that last sentence that I want to really pick up on. This series is all about money. You could say Moneyball. It's something I've used in the past. It's something I'm going to use now. We're not expected to become billionaires overnight. That's not what we're about. But my Journeyman series, which I started on the channel last year and very quickly stopped because no one was watching it, but I've actually kept playing it in the background. And I'm currently managing, what are they called? Ballina Mallard, I think, United in Northern Ireland. I've managed to get them into the top division, got them into the Europa Conference League, and right now we're sitting on just under £1 million, just from that Europa Conference League campaign. I got knocked out before we even reached the group stage, by the way. Got beaten by Hibs in the final playoff. But that alone has basically paid the bills for the entire season, maybe even the season after. And considering I was struggling to make ends meet the season before that, we finished very, very flukily in the top 6 and got into Europe that way through a playoff. I'm very happy with that. And that's kind of what inspired me to do this in this series. So the whole goal of the series is to generate money. We're not going to be multimillionaires, but just enough to keep things ticking over. We're not expected to break the transfer record either. Not yet anyway. That might happen. Who knows? But yeah, if a team comes in, say Charlton bid, 40 grand for a young player who may or may not make it in our team, we're just going to accept it. We're going to let them go. If they come in and sign a player on a free transfer, but with a huge compensation fee, we're just going to accept it because that money means more to us at this level than the player, let's be honest. And we can invest that money back into the youth system to create more players that are then going to be sold to Charlton for 40 grand a piece. It's a pretty good system. It's one that Stevenage used in real life. Sold Ben Wilmot to Watford for £1.5 million. Built a considerable squad out of it. We sold Steve Morrison to Millwall back in the day for 100,000. They then sold him to Norwich for, I think it was like 6 million. Stevenage had a 40% sell-on fee in that deal. So we got 40% of that X number of millions. We built a new training ground, turned the old training ground into the youth academy that is now producing players like Ben Wilmot. Who else came through our youth system? There's a guy recently, Lecky Drake, I think his name is. We sold him to Man City for what is meant to be an academy record fee. But believe that if you will. I'm kind of sat on the fence on that one. But I want Hatfield to be like that. I want us to have one of the best youth academies in the world, producing the best players to sell for huge bucks. Maybe even put them in the team and win trophies, but huge bucks sounds nice too. Right, rule number 5. The club's money must remain positive for as long as possible. If the money slips into the red, it's time to sort it out. This could be by cutting costs, reducing the wage bill, or just trimming the squad size. Selling a player or two might fix the issue, but either way the books need to be balanced. No more running the club into debt for the sake of promotion, or keeping a player only to release them a year later. Or keeping a player only to release them a year later. Now I have to be ruthless. Now this is something I've done a lot before. I fought my hardest to hold on to a player, offering them stupid wages and things like that, because at the time they were really good. Then they might pick up an injury, or will just go and sign someone else who could also play in their position, and a year later that player is redundant. And because they're on huge wages, no one wants to sign them. We can't afford to terminate the contract because the wages are too high. Excuse me. And you're just left with a player that no one wants. No more of that. If we have to sell a player or two, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to... Wow. I got frogs in my throat and all sorts now as well. So sorry, guys. We're not going to chase players, basically. We're not going to offer them stupid money. If a club comes in for them, they have to leave, basically. I'm just going to mute my microphone for 1 second. Just bear with me. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, if an offer comes in for them, great. If they're coming towards the end of their deal and they're not going to sign for less than stupid money, then they're leaving on a free, basically. If that means we have to say goodbye to one of our best players, and especially if it's one of the crop that we've got now, who I would like to keep for sentimental reasons more than anything, we are still going to have to say goodbye. That's just the way it is, I'm afraid. Number 6, Moneyball time. This is the one I'm excited about. Buying players is normally to strengthen the squad, but this year we'll see my approach to scouting and buying players change. No more spamming the scouting screen. This year it's all about stats. Players will be shortlisted based on their passing ability or their set-piece technique. The best players in the squad might not be picked if we're playing a passing game and their passing isn't good. Likewise, a defender might be dropped if their tackling stat isn't good enough. It's time to play the stats game, and picking up cheap players to fit the mould will become part of the game. So, to go back to this quickly, I realise you've just been staring at the same screen for ages. Let's say, Gadger. Gadger's a good player. Don't get me wrong. But central midfield here, if I go on development training, so yeah, playing position there and an additional focus. No, that's not right. What am I looking for? I was trying to look for roles, but I don't think I've got them here. Maybe if I do midfield centre, I don't know, advanced playmaker, and we'll set him to attack. There you go. So these are the stats that are highlighted. So you can see already, composure's not very good. Concentration's not great. Teamwork's only a 1. So he's kind of in it for himself. Ignore the player traits. I might remove some of these, to be honest. I think we've got too many player traits. If I can remove them, that is. Otherwise, oops. But yeah, you can see he might not be the best player for this position. Whereas someone like, Kitoko might be a better player for that role. In which case, we might have to drop Gadger and bring in Kitoko instead. We're all about the stats this year. I haven't looked, actually, at the set piece takers yet. But if we're playing a game that relies on set pieces a lot, then we might bring in players who are better at set piece taking, even if they're not as good elsewhere as the person who should be playing in that position. So again, you got Lingard versus give me another left winger, Studholm. You can see Lingard's a much better corner taker. That might put Studholm on the block. Who knows? Right now, though, I'm going to do all this off camera, so you don't need to worry about that. What else have we got? One more thing about Moneyball. So if any of you have seen the film Moneyball, it's one of my all-time favourite films, you'll see that Chris Pratt's character was hired purely because his pitching skills, basically. No, it's not because of his pitching. He has a bad pitching skill because he gets on base. That's what all these players were hired for, because they get on base. And at the end of the game, what am I saying? At the end of the day, the name of the game in baseball is to score runs. So if you've got players that get on base, you could end up bases loaded, and then you could end up with one person flukes a home run, and you've scored, was it 4? Yeah, 4 runs. I'm trying to do the maths in my head because you don't have someone standing on fourth because that's home. That's what we're about here as well. If we've got someone who's good at penalties but not necessarily good at finishing, they might be good to bring on just before a penalty shootout. If you've got someone like a goalkeeper who's really good at saving penalties but not very good at saving shots in general, you might bring them on for a penalty shootout. That happens a lot at the moment, actually. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Just ask a Chelsea fan right now. That's what we're all about this year. We're all about the stats. So one thing I wanted to do was get rid of this column completely, the ability, and just have the stats on the side here, and that's what we'll use to determine whether a player gets selected or not. That's good to an extent, but it's not brilliant. What I would like is a bit like on the scouting screen where you can have a recommendation here, and it could be A, B, C, and to my knowledge, I don't think you can do that on this screen. I don't think you can. Or have we got ability or attributes, which is not... I mean, we do need that in a second, but not right now. Coaching. Yeah, we've got style and things like that, but again, not great. I mean, I could do it via... Oh, that's not the right one. Scouting, maybe. Is there a recommendation? Again, I'm not seeing it. There's a knowledge level, but we know them because there are players. We've got things like strongest area and weakest area, which, to be honest, I think I might include on this list as well, because that would be useful information to have. And yeah, the last rule. This is the big one as well. This is probably the most important one. Whatever happens, stays. No save scumming, no off-camera miracles, no second chances. If we go up, great. If we stay down, okay. And if we get relegated, too bad. We're locked in. Whatever happens in the series remains... there you go. Whatever happens in the series remains locked in. The only exception to this rule is if I'm fired. Obviously, that will require a reload of some sort. Just to make sure that the series can continue, basically. One other thing to note is if a player leaves, they're gone. I was tempted to make a rule where if it happens in the first season, maybe we use the editor to bring them back. But having watched Hatfield and Hashtag recently, players join and leave clubs all the time. Hashtag have lost a lot of players recently who've come back recently as well. So, it's a possibility. For sure, it is a possibility. So I'm not sweating too much on that one. If a player leaves, we'll replace them. Simple as that. We've got quite a lot of players. As I said earlier, we've got 46 players total. Chances are if a player leaves, there is someone else waiting to take their place. So, am I worried? Not really. I think we'll be fine. Those are the main rules. There might be other ones added from me, but if there's any that you'd like to see added, by all means. The format of this series is videos on Tuesdays, some of which might be live streams. Now, I can't promise they will all be live streams, and I can't promise they'll all be videos. It very much depends on the situation and what's happening. I would like as many of them as possible to be live streams, though. I'm going to have a little face cam set up. I've bought myself a face cam. I just need to set it up. And we'll have a good party together. We'll have the chat going, hopefully. We'll have people coming in. I might update the music as well. I've got some new music that I'd like to try. And yeah, hopefully it's become a really good, successful series. One more thing that I've got for you guys in this episode is the first match. You might have seen it on the home screen just now. We've got first team versus second team, basically, in a friendly. Now, this is the lineup they've got for the second team, which is a little worrying because they've got Torres there at left back. But hopefully I can keep him to play right back for me. But you can see they've got Mack in goal. Then they've got Torres, Morris, Hughes, and Kwa. I might just call him Kwa from now on. But Kwaku Pome. Going to stick with that as my pronunciation for now. Bartuk and Egbo. Then Motoko, Innocent, and Omen, and Mansfield up front. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to put a little cut in here then, guys. We'll come back in a second and we'll play that match just to see how good we really are. Alright, here we are then in the intra-squad friendly. Hatfield Town versus Hatfield Town second 11. I chose to do first 11 versus second 11. I was tempted to do something different, but I decided to go with this instead. Also, the stadium seems to have a lot of red around it, which is weird. Because in the editor, Hatfield were actually blue and white. Still, I had to change it. So it's a bit weird that that's the way it's been. Anyway, so these are the 11s. We are this side. That's the away team there. So we've got Murray in goal. Torres, Sadler, Furby, Argent across the back. Hammond, Gadger in midfield. Lingard, Luis Vieira and Studholme across the attacking midfield. And then Ruben Vieira up top. Bench is Innocent, Kwakapome, Poskett, Symes, Oric and Akimpong. The second 11, they've got Extents in goal. Back four of Kabaya, Hughes, Morris, Theoharis. Midfield two of Kotoko and Harwood. Advanced midfield of Bartuk, Muswala and Mansfield. And then McLeod up front. Although I think those two are the other way round. They might not be playing a 4-2-3-1 actually. And then their bench is Scott Fenton, Marks, Egbo, Cassell, Shallow and Omen. I think, yeah, this is a match we should be winning. I think we're ready to go. So here we go. First 11 versus second 11. I am very, very excited by this. Let's get stuck in. First of all, we'll make sure we're on key. Camera director, that's all fine. Let's go then. So the away team kicked off. Second 11. Some nice passing play there, actually. But Torres with the close down. Knocks it back to Murray. That's an unfortunate floodlight placement there. That's very unfortunate. Can I lower the camera angle? Maybe I can't. I don't know. I might actually... Hang on. Let's be realistic here. So, camera. What's sideline? Okay. And then height. And then zoom. Maybe. Or there's TV. I kind of like the idea of sideline, actually. If I do this side, so it's behind the dugout. Let's give this a go. We'll use director for the replays. I think that'll be fine. Okay, so it's actually the second 11 that are having the majority of chances right now. I don't think we've had a shot yet, which is worrying. Oh, hang on. Maybe we have had the shots. Are we white or purple? I can't actually... No, we're purple. But we're wearing white. Okay. Yeah. It's one of these things to do with the kit, basically. I think the kit's swapped from what I was expecting them to be. So yeah, this is where we're at. Torres with the ball anyway, finding Hammond. Very unnecessary, but nice back heel anyway. Back to Torres. Lingard with the cross. Ruben Vieira with the finish. Was the offside flag up there? It was not. That goal counts. Ruben Vieira with the goal. First goal of the series scored by Ruben Vieira. Torres here to Hammond. You can see where the reverse camera angle comes in. Torres with the ball to Lingard, who did look off there actually, but it counts. It does count. And that's the main thing. And there we go, 1-0 up. What was I going to say just now? Oh yeah, so media predictions. We're actually predicted to finish third in the league. So we're not predicted to win the league, which is what made me think maybe this team is about right, stats-wise. The real-life Hatfield are a little ways behind the majority of the league right now. But I think this team is still capable of finishing with a promotion this season. That is certainly the plan. That is what we're going to be trying to do. I also had to fiddle around with the staff responsibilities just now, because after literally saying I will negotiate all transfers, there's Mansfield with the goal. That was a nice finish actually as well. Kabaya with the assist there. After saying that I would handle the transfers, Ray actually put in a bid for a striker. So I was like, no, quick, cancel. So I cancelled that. And I don't think we need a striker right now, because good finish from Vieira from a pullback from the right, and a good finish from Mansfield from a pullback from the right. So I think we're in good position right now. Maybe not the best, but a reasonable position right now. That's half time. 1-1. Could be better. Could also be worse. Do I want to make changes now, or do I want to wait until a little ways into the second half? I kind of want to make some changes, just to see. Who the hell's Ches Symes, by the way? That's not one of mine. Yeah. That's not one of mine. So I'm going to bring Akimpong on. Probably to play on the left. But I'm going to bring him on for Lingard. And we're going to swap these two round. So Studholm's going to play on the right. Akimpong's going to play on the left. Inverted winger is fine. Studholm as just a normal winger. Set to support. I'm fine with that too. We'll bring on Poskett in midfield in place of Gadja. We'll have Poskett play as a box-to-box midfielder set to support. Innocent, are you a cam predominantly? Kinda. So I think we'll bring you on as well in place of Luis Vieira. And yeah, you will be an advanced playmaker set to attack. And everyone else, or maybe Oric as well, we'll bring on for Sadler. And you'll play as just a central defender set to defend. Everyone else, I believe, is A-OK for now. You can't be too disappointed about drawing with your second 11, because it means your second 11 isn't far off your first 11, which is a nice problem to have when you're a manager. That's a good challenge there from Akimpong, and for some reason the ref's given a penalty. I think that's harsh. I don't think that was a foul, but the penalty's been awarded, and it's going to be... Who's that? Kabaya stepping up, and he scores. Looks like he smashed it straight down the middle there, but he has sent the keeper the wrong way, which is not the best for me, personally. Again, it's no shame losing to your second 11. I mean, it's no shame for me, because I'm happy. The players, though, they're probably going to be feeling it a little bit, feeling the pressure. But it's a good finish. Feeling confident in that side of things. Yeah. Hughes on the ball. Plays it to Kotoko. Forward to Harwood. I've just realised something. I think my instructions are all wrong. That might be why we're struggling. So let's go with, run at defence. Be more expressive. Completely forgot that I had to set all this up, to be honest. Pass into space. Final third. Yeah, we'll go with mix still. That's fine. Counter. Distribute quickly. Distribute to the fullbacks as well. And then out of position. We'll go with that. And that. And we'll get stuck in. And I think we'll force them outside. Yeah. Do I want to do that actually? Or do I want to force them inside? No, I kind of want to force them outside, because that's not where the goal is. Okay. Kabaya then on the ball. Finds Maswala. Pulls it back to Mansfield. Murray with the save comes off the... I don't know what the hell Murray was doing there, but comes off the post and Torres gets it away. Do I want to bring on any more subs now? Probably not. I'm going to sort of demand more from the team, though, because we are losing and we're not really getting many shots away as it stands. We're this one here. We're purple on the left, so we need to do more. Do I have another winger? I've got Symes, who could come on, I suppose. I'm going to bring off Torres. We're going to bring on Kwakapome. See what he can do. Here's Hughes now. Plays it over the top. That's a nice ball. Murray comes and just hoofs it clear. It's a nice pass, actually, to Ruben Vieira. Akimpong to Innocent. Vieira's taken up space in the middle, but Innocent's forced wide. He does get the cross in. Studholm's header, and that is a very, very well taken goal from Studholm. Very well taken goal. I'm happy with that. Thought the chance was gone there when Innocent was forced out wide here. But he's kept ball in play, delivered a nice cross, and from behind the floodlight there, started home with a beautiful header into that top corner. Can't complain. Can't complain at that. That's good finish. Very, very good finish. The second 11 have brought Cassell on up front, I've seen. I think everyone else... Oh, Scott Fenton's in goal now as well. I believe everyone else is the same as before. But that is full time. 2-2 draw. Could we have done better? Possibly. Should we have done better? Most definitely. I was about to say, did Torres not get on? He's on here twice. He's there and he's there. I don't know. But yeah, we should have done a little bit better there. In all honesty, we should have won that one. Games like this aren't about the result. Fair enough. It was first 11 versus second 11. We gave them a pretty good game. I'm just going to have to mute my microphone again for one quick second. Excuse me. This is like the third video, sorry, I've recorded today. You'll have to bear with me that my voice is a little bit hoarse. Oh, dear me. So yeah, honours even. Can't complain too much. It's given me some food for thought here. And with the schedule coming up, we've got a few more friendlies here. Phoenix Sports, Alfreton under 23s, Walthamstow, Sharnbrook, Petro Cub, does that say? And then we're into the league with our first game against Welwyn Garden City under 23s. So I might look at arranging some more friendlies just to get the team up to scratch. I will be managing the squad through all of these friendlies just to get them up to speed. I might use a match plan for a couple of them. I do have a match plan ready. It is a Gegenpress. Oh, where's it gone? I had it loaded. That's weird. It is a Gegenpress. So it might not be the best one, but we'll see. I'll keep that around. I've also got, you might have seen it there as well, it's called Wreck-It Ralph. It's based on Ralph Rangnick's formations, but considering they're not working that well right now, I might go and tweak those slightly. But yeah, this is... Oh, 1 second. This is your team. This is your Stagz. This is how we'll be lining up for the start of the season. Most likely. There might be a couple of tweaks here or there, but pretty much this is how we're going to be lining up. So hopefully you're looking forward to the series as much as I am. Very excited to get going. Looking forward to getting the streams going. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course, if you're looking forward to the series ahead, can't speak still. Drop some comments down below. Like I said, let me know about the rules if you think they're fair, if there's any you'd like to see changed. If you're a Hatfield Town player, let me know. Always feel free to say hi. You can also ask why I'm not picking you if you like, but I think that's an argument for another day. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Plenty more videos like this coming up in the near future. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. It's very much appreciated. And until next time, I will see you soon.